On Christmas night, the city of Charlotte glowed with festive lights. But inside a quiet corner of a downtown restaurant sat Morgan Hartley, staring at an empty chair across from her. The hum of dinner conversations around her felt distant, as if life was happening somewhere she no longer belonged. Christmas had once been full of laughter, shared prayers, stockings by the fireplace, and cinnamon cookies cooling on the counter. But now, at 34, she sat alone, quietly eating grilled salmon while pretending not to notice that every table had at least 2 people. The silence inside her was louder than the soft Christmas jazz floating through the room. Her heart felt hollow, not because she wanted gifts or celebration, but because loneliness had become her unwanted companion. If you believe kindness deserves to be seen, second chances deserve to be honored, and love deserves to be shared, then please like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and share this story forward. Morgan wasn't supposed to be alone. Just a few months earlier, she had been engaged to a man who promised forever. His name was Carter, ambitious, polished, adored in every room he entered. But one evening, 2 weeks before their wedding, she overheard him telling someone on the phone that he wasn't sure he wanted to marry her anymore. He confessed he was staying out of obligation rather than love. The truth broke her spirit more than any argument could have. She quietly canceled the engagement, moved out of their apartment, and took a temporary job as a contract designer just to afford rent. Since then, her world had shrunk to the size of her studio apartment, her office cubicle, and the grocery store near her place. Christmas was her favorite holiday. Yet this year she forced herself out to a restaurant just to avoid eating leftovers alone. She tried smiling when the waiter placed her dessert, a slice of cheesecake with a small chocolate Christmas tree piped on top, but even that sweetness couldn't dissolve the ache that lived inside her. Across the restaurant, a little girl named Harper sat at a table with her father, Lucas Grant. Harper was 5, with soft blonde curls and the gentle confidence that only children blessed with affection develop. She wore a yellow floral dress with a tiny white collar and kept swinging her feet under the table. Lucas was 37, tall, quiet, and still learning how to do life as a single father. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier due to sudden heart failure. Since then, he worked overtime as a network architect, ate dinners on the go, and tried his best to fill 2 roles, father and mother. Christmas always made him wish his daughter had more than just him. Harper noticed Morgan first. She tugged her father's sleeve and whispered something. Lucas followed her gaze, and the moment he saw Morgan sitting alone, something stirred inside him. Not pity, but recognition. He remembered what it was like to eat alone on Christmas too. Morgan lifted her water glass, pretending to be occupied, but her eyes flickered downward, as if hiding tears she didn't want anyone to see. It was then Harper slid down from her chair, stood on her small toes, and walked toward Morgan with childlike fearlessness. Morgan looked up, startled. Harper gently placed her hands on Morgan's table and softly asked, "Can we join you?" Morgan froze. Before she could respond, Lucas approached, wearing a kind but cautious expression. He apologized for the interruption, explaining that Harper simply didn't like seeing anyone alone on Christmas. Harper added, in her sweet little voice, that Jesus would never want a person to feel lonely on his birthday. The words struck Morgan like light entering darkness. She nodded slowly, unable to speak. Lucas smiled and thanked her, then pulled a chair beside Morgan while Harper slid into the seat closest to her. Just like that, the loneliness dissolved into something almost unrecognizable, presence, warmth, and belonging. They ordered dessert together. Harper told Morgan about her lost tooth last week, her love for baking gingerbread, and the snowman she had built with her dad earlier. Morgan listened, truly listened, for the first time in months. Lucas watched something return in Morgan's face. Color, life, softness. Morgan eventually opened up too. She told them about her engagement ending and how she never expected to face Christmas like this. Harper reached over, wrapped her tiny arms around Morgan, and whispered, "Good things come back when you're ready for them." Lucas looked at his daughter in surprise, then at Morgan with quiet admiration. From that moment, the evening shifted. They talked about favorite hymns, Christmas traditions, and how each had been forced to restart their lives. Lucas confessed he often felt he was failing as a father. Morgan assured him he wasn't. She said Harper's joy revealed everything about him, even more than he realized. When it was time to leave, Harper begged her dad to exchange numbers with Morgan so they could bake cookies together sometime. Lucas turned red but agreed. Morgan left with something she hadn't taken home from anywhere in months, a reason to look forward to tomorrow. The next week, Lucas texted her and asked if she wanted to join them at a community winter event. She said yes. Harper held Morgan's hand the entire evening. Soon after, Morgan visited their home for dinner. The walls were decorated with paper snowflakes Harper cut out. There was a framed picture of Lucas's late wife on top of the fireplace. Morgan didn't try to fill that place. She simply respected its silence. Weeks turned into months. Dinners turned into traditions. Sundays became afternoons spent at church or playgrounds. Harper insisted Morgan read her bedtime Bible verses sometimes, which Lucas found both humbling and healing. Slowly, Morgan began designing again, not just for clients, but for herself. Lucas encouraged her to start her own studio. Harper painted small hearts on index cards and taped them to Morgan's laptop for extra power. Morgan laughed every time she opened her computer. Lucas and Morgan never rushed anything, but everyone around them noticed how naturally they fit together, not as replacements, but as additions. On the 1-year anniversary of that Christmas night, Lucas reserved the same table at the same restaurant. He dressed in a navy suit, and Harper wore the same color dress as last year, only now slightly longer and paired with a pink cardigan. Morgan arrived wearing a soft white dress and pearl earrings. Harper immediately hugged her. Minutes later, Lucas stood up, took Morgan's hand, and spoke in a voice that trembled just enough to reveal the truth beneath his composure. He told her that she healed his home, not by replacing anything, but by bringing what was missing: gentleness, hope, peace. Then he asked if she would let their home be hers too. Morgan cried. Not sad tears, but tears of answered prayers after seasons of silence. Harper hugged both of them and asked, "Does this mean we can bake cookies every Sunday forever?" Morgan nodded, laughing through tears. Christmas, once painful, became the very night everything began again. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe so more stories like this continue reaching people who feel alone. Before you leave, comment below, "Kindness begins where loneliness ends." That night, under soft lights and gentle music, 3 people who once lived through loss built a new beginning, a family not created by perfect timing,